Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about an app that I've been using for the last 2 years, which has helped me read more, create a reading habit, and overall make the reading experience way more enjoyable. In this video, we'll have a look at why this is one of the best apps a reader can have. If you're new here, my name is Elsa. I'm a software engineer and I like to spend a lot of my time reading. In the past, I used to read more sporadically, but I've now created a reading habit that I've been able to successfully maintain for years now, and I attribute some of that success to Goodreads. As always, you'll find the timestamps in the description down below in case you want to skip around. Let's now head over to my computer where I'll give you a bit of a tour on how Goodreads works and show you the main features. Okay, so I'll be showing you around on the desktop application, but of course you can do the same stuff on the mobile app. So the main feature that makes this app tremendously useful is the ability to track what you've read, what you're reading, and what you want to read. So if we go to my books, we can see all the books that I've added to my profile, and we can filter them by read, currently reading, and want to read. This is really helpful because I often see books that seem interesting and I want to save them for later in case I want to read them. I could trust my brain to remember the title of the book, but as David Allen says in his book Getting Things Done, our brains weren't made to store things. They have a very limited capacity and there's only so much stuff you can fit into them. So by using Goodreads, I can search for any book that I'm interested in, mark it as want to read, and free that mental space so I can use it for more important things. So for example, I'm currently reading these 2 books, and yesterday I started a new book, so we're gonna add that one right now. We just go to the search bar and search for Clean Architecture. Okay, there it is, which is the title of the book I'm reading. And when you search for a book, you can see it gives you a lot of information like the rating, the reviews, the number of pages, information on the author. So basically, every time that someone recommends me a book, the first thing I do is search it on Goodreads, have a look at the information, and if I like it, I just add it to the want to read list. And that's all. As you can see, it's super easy to use. In this case, as I've already started reading it, I'm going to add it as currently reading. So now if we go back to my books, you can see that it was added to the currently reading bookshelf. Goodreads makes it super easy to keep track of what you've read, and this in turn will make you more likely to stick to your reading habit. The habit formation expert James Clear explains that the most effective form of motivation is progress. When we get a signal that we're moving forward, we become more motivated to continue down that path. So Goodreads is a really great app if you want to create a reading habit. But if you want to take your reading habits a step further, there's a great feature that you can't miss, and that's the yearly reading challenge. At the beginning of every year, a new challenge is created and you can choose how many books you want to read that year. For example, this year I've set up a goal of 24 books. It's not the most ambitious reading goal, but it's easy enough so I don't give up on the challenge, and hard enough that it encourages me to read a bit every single day. Of course, you don't have to wait until it's January to set it up. You can do it anytime. You can set it up right now and add the books that you've read so far this year. You can also see some stats on the days left for the end of the challenge and what's the average number of books that people want to read this year. Once again, don't stress with this part. If you don't read much, set a realistic goal that works for you. The important thing here is to make reading more like a game and enjoy the process. On Goodreads, you can also add friends. This will let you see each other's progress on the reading challenge, and from the main page, you'll get an update whenever one of your friends adds a book to the bookshelf or rates a book. I really enjoy this as it lets me see what my friends read, and it can even give me some good present ideas, to be honest. Also, being able to see their progress in reading encourages me to keep reading too. It's almost like a game, to be honest. When you're playing a board game, for example, you're competing in a friendly way to win the game. So as you have the motivation to win, you make an effort and therefore keep making progress. With Goodreads, something similar happens, but even better, because each one of your friends will have a different reading goal, so you're really just competing against yourself as you try to complete the challenge, but with the benefit of sharing that journey with your friends. If none of your friends use this app, you can try to convince one of them to join you on a yearly reading challenge. Having accountability buddies is one of the best ways to stick to your habits, because you feel some pressure that the other person is also committed to the challenge and you don't want to let them down. If despite all efforts, none of your friends wants to join Goodreads, feel free to add me as a friend I'll hold you accountable for the reading challenge. I'll leave the link to my Goodreads profile in the description down below. Apart from making friends, on Goodreads you can follow authors and other users. So if we go back to the page of the book I'm reading, you can see here the author of the book, and if I want, I can follow the author in order to see any updates anytime he releases a new book. Something that I really like about following authors is being able to see what they read and their ratings on books. For example, Bill Gates is known to read a lot. And from his Goodreads profile, I can see his book reviews and maybe add it to my bookshelf if I want to. I would recommend you to follow people you admire. I think one of the best ways to enter someone's mind is to read what they read. Now let's go back to my book section because I want to show you another really cool feature of Goodreads. If you're one of those people that like to organize everything into folders, you probably like this one. So here on the left, we have the bookshelves that I showed you earlier, but you can actually add more of these depending on your needs. For example, I could create a section on tech-related books, which I usually read to improve my skills as an engineer, or maybe create a shelf on book recommendations. I'm usually more likely to read a book if it was recommended by someone. So let's create that as an example. We go to add shelf and write recommended. We click add, and then we can search for a book. For example, Clean Architecture once again. We just go to the book and we can directly add it to the recommended list. Note that you can assign the book to multiple bookshelves, so you still know if you actually read the book or not. The last point is on Kindle synchronization. If you happen to own a Kindle, you should know that there's an option to automatically sync all of your highlights, notes, and book progress so you don't have to do it manually. If you don't own a Kindle, I've made a couple of videos about this device. One of them comparing paper books to Kindle, and another one comparing different Kindle models. I will also leave the links in the description down below in case you want to check them out. So overall, I really enjoy using this app. It's been really useful to track my reading progress and remember about all the books that I want to read. It's also been a great incentive to read more and turn reading into a game. And of course, the community aspect of it makes it even more fun to use. If you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe as I'll be posting more content on reading and self-improvement every week. As always, I'll leave the links to everything in the description down below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.